Oh, yay, more people are joining.
Okay, and I see a pop-up saying that we're being live streamed.
Yep. We're live.
Okay, perfect.
I think
Noise.
Abir is the only one who has colors on the walls of his house. I mean, obviously I can't see everyone else because everyone actually isn't showing their house right now. The cameras are off, but thank you, Abir, for bringing some color to our channel. So how would you like to start, Lucas? Do you just want to wait till like 8:05 to see if more people join?
No strong opinion here. I think we can even really start because, oh, actually, Abir suggests 2 minutes. So yeah, let's do it 5 past and
yeah, I think it's a safe bet, especially like we were discussing that it was only a few days ago that we let everyone know about the call. So I feel like it's good that we're giving a few extra minutes to give them a chance to join and hear about it.
Yeah. But looking at the number of people that already joined, I think 2 days before was enough.
Yes. Hey, babies, be quiet, please. Tranquilo, estoy trabajando acá ahorita. Should probably open a few links in case I end up screen sharing. You know, my passion, that is screen sharing.
So I've heard.
Unfortunately, you have heard.
Actually, I might share screen as well when I will talk about the generator project.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's perfect because they'll probably have questions about that.
You also have questions.
Me? No, I know everything. I always know everything. I never need help, you know. Just all knowing, almost like a god.
No comments.
Somebody else on the video call is thinking, heresy, heresy.
Okay, it's 5 past.
Yeah, let's get started.
I guess you want to start, right? And you're gonna probably share screen. Or
Okay, sure.
Yep.
Well, welcome everyone. I know that everyone is joining us from very different time zones, which means that for some of you, it's definitely late. So thank you so much for joining the call because you could be sleeping and enjoying a nice nap, but you're here in the call. So thank you for joining. And I'm so glad that some of you folks are interested and excited. So just to remember again, the purpose of the call and the process, because I know that maybe it's a lot of steps so that nobody feels confused. So we have really simple interview process, only 2 steps. First step is, and this was really more voluntary, right? Today's call, a question and answer session from you folks to us. And the reason why we think this is so important is not just to be available, of course, to help you with your questions, but also because we know that it's very important in your career and in life to feel confident to interview your employer back, right? In future jobs that you might have, you deserve to interview your employer back, to have the confidence to make sure that you're joining a team that will treat you well. So we think that this is also a great practice session for you, feeling comfortable to, you know, interview back and get any questions, answers, doubts, concerns out of the way. So this session is for you folks. And so that's step 1. And then step 2, as you saw in the channel, is we're going to have just one interview call next with everyone that is interested and sends me their email and time zone. I will be setting up those calls probably later next Friday or next week. And so don't feel concerned if I haven't sent you a time slot yet. That's because I'm still getting everyone's emails and I want to compare all the time zones before I start sending out meeting invites. Okay, cool. So then, as you know, Lucas is also going to be a mentor on the GSOD program this year, which is exciting. So essentially, if you have a lot of big problems, take those to Lucas. And then the little problems that are fun, you bring those to me. No, just kidding. Just kidding. But the nice thing about having mentors is that we want to make sure that you don't feel shy to ask us or to tell us when you're blocked. So for example, I think it was Pratik the other day, he got blocked temporarily from being able to do anything because his local environment wasn't working. He couldn't spin up the documentation on, 8080 port, which is what you should be able to do. And so he reached out and he's like, hey, I'm blocked. So, we hopped on a phone call, he screen shared. I wasn't sure. I couldn't see that he was doing anything wrong. So I told him, okay, this is something beyond the normal. So let's go ahead and reach out to another channel. And we got him unblocked. Somebody noticed that he was working on Windows and blah, blah, blah. So, just like Pratik did, if you have any questions, like don't think your question is too silly or that it's not important enough, or think, oh, my question will take too much time, so I can't bother Lucas or Alejandra. Like, no, like, let us worry about our time. If you have any questions or concerns, like, please, you should be DMing me and Lucas so we can help get you unblocked. And if you have opinions about how to change things and make them better, of course, that's why we're excited to have you, because being a contributor means being able to help improve it, everything for the whole community. So we need and we want your ideas, even if sometimes your ideas will, of course, be different opinions because everyone is different. Anyway, I've been talking too much for now, but I think everybody gets what we're doing. Who would like to ask their first question? Don't everyone jump at once.
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Oh man, a beer. Okay, I guess we can start with the beer.
Yeah, so I have I have so many questions. So first thing, I'll go one by one. So first question is that there are some things like CLI is a tool, and we are putting it under as a reference. So but confused.
So
Yeah.
oh no, it's okay. So let's actually just have this call for questions about the program and the interview process. And then offline in the issues, we can talk about moving forward in the contribution.
Yeah, sure. So
Okay.
I will jump off to the question that currently, like, suppose if any person is having a part-time contractual work, not on a payroll, just a contract work, and can he be part of the GSOD
Yes.
racing API?
Right. I'm so glad you remembered to ask in the group, because then your question will apply to, I'm sure, a lot of people. That's a good question. So initially I thought that we might not be able to offer the internship for people who are in a full-time job. But so far in the documentation with the rules that Google has for the program, I don't think I've seen anything that would block us from that. So if you're a part-time contractor like Abir and you're interested in applying to interview for the program, you can absolutely apply. And it looks like even if you have a full-time job, but you would still like to apply to the internship, I think you can still do it, because I haven't seen anything from Google so far that says no.
Thanks. That resolves like the biggest query. So, like, I guess a lot of the folks are freelancers also, like they do freelancing too. So that this may be applied to them also. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Do you have another question, Abir? Do you want to keep going?
That's all. We can pass it the next question. Yeah.
Oh, Mawa?
Yes, hello, nice to meet you all. I have a couple of questions. I hope I'm audible enough. My internet is not stable.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
I'm wondering whether I'm audible enough. My internet is not very stable.
Oh, yeah, that'll happen. I think it's okay. Maybe just speak a little bit louder and I think I'll be able to hear you.
Okay. It's great to meet all of you. My name is Joseph. I have a couple of questions here. The first one is, what will the code review process be like in this program? I've participated in one, but I didn't have a very excellent experience because you can make a pull request, but it takes like 2 months for you to get feedback. So eventually, it affects the workflow. So I'm wondering what code review process will be like if I make a contribution. How long will I take to get feedback in the process? And then the second question is, what will this interview process be like? Is it going to be a whiteboard interview?
Did you say whiteboard? No,
Yeah,
no.
those are the two questions I wanted to ask. Thank you.
Oh yeah, for sure. Let me start with the first one about how the pull request process will work, the review process. And you also noted correctly that sometimes some of the issues in our open source organization do kind of feel like they take a long time to, I don't know, get done, if you want to say it that way. So as far as timing is concerned, since this is not a product manager owned, feature or team, the good thing is that it's really up to the community and the time that they have to, give back to the contribution spec. And so some contributors have more time than others, and that's totally okay. Because we don't want to block people from contributing just because they have less time. It could be a father who has already another job and he only has a little bit of time. It could be a mom, a student, whatever. So yes, some issues will definitely feel like they take a longer time to finally get done. And that's just because we are very flexible and we don't want to block people just because they may have less time to contribute than others. The other thing is that because every contributor is, also doing different things, usually people are doing more than one contribution. Sometimes it happens that somebody gets wrapped up finishing one task and it takes them a while to get back and complete the other one because they focus more on one first. So for example, right now, I'm really focusing on pull requests or work related right now to the GSOD program. And I kind of stopped doing a lot of the other things, right? So it kind of like, it will vary, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, we don't care if it takes a longer time to complete, as long as we did a nice contribution that is helpful to the community at large, right? So as far as like the process review steps for the documentation, it'll definitely be very similar to a review process for code. You pick up an issue, or rather an issue is assigned to you, whichever, and you first make sure that you understand what you have to do. You ask any questions that you may have. If you want to get feedback and ideas from other community members and see what other people think, you can absolutely do that. Maybe jump in the Slack channel and ask other people for their opinions, or you can comment on the issue and tag people in and ask people for their opinions, or share your opinion with others. And then eventually you open your pull request, you do your thing, whatever the issue was, and then I will be, of course, automatically added. And if Lucas is not automatically added, then we'll just go ahead and make sure to add him. And whoever else is relevant to review will be also on the pull request. And then it'll just be back and forth based on the feedback that you may receive until eventually everyone approves it and it's merged. And currently our documentation does not have to be merged and released at the same time as our other like regular releases. And so when your pull request is approved, it can be merged automatically and go live, right away. And we don't have to wait for the next release. So that's actually kind of cool. So that'll be the review process for everyone, and it'll take as long as it takes. And I mean, this program runs until November, so we have plenty of time to do a lot of good work. Like, I don't think we're going to be short on time. I actually think we have extra time. And then you asked two questions, right? And the second one was, what's the interview process? So like I mentioned earlier, we only have two steps. One is the call we're doing today, so that you all get to ask us questions. And the second one is, as you remember, you gave me your time zone and your emails. So after I have everyone's, I'm gonna set up one more interview call, and it'll just be one-on-one call. And then I have a couple of questions, obviously, for you in my interview, but it's not going to be a whiteboard code sharing, blah, blah, blah. If you know how to code, that's great. Don't worry, I will exploit you. But if you don't know how to code, that's great. It doesn't matter. We're not hiring based on who knows more. So don't worry about that. That's not what matters. The interview will be really just me asking you questions, and at some point, if you want to screen share and show me something, of course, we can talk about it, but we're not going to be doing a text screen. It'll really be me asking you questions related to seeing how you would like to be involved in the internship, and just kind of assessing, of course, if people are reliable and if they want to be able to, if they want to learn how to grow, and, you know, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But yeah, I'll be setting up those interview calls, and I'll message you all, and I'll make sure that the times I sent you works for you, of course. And if it doesn't, then we'll find another time slot. And as far as hiring deadlines, Google only has a deadline of May 16. So as you can see, that's still a long way off. So I will definitely still be interviewing until like May 11 or so. So there's plenty of time, and we'll definitely find a time that works for everyone. Does that help answer your questions?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, cool, thank you. So I see now Pratik has his hand raised.
Yes. Am I audible?
Mhm.
Hey everyone, nice to meet you all. So I had a question about GSOT. See, I read something about on the GSOT website about this thing called statement of interest, or something called as proposal. So I had to ask if do we have to prepare this document for our organization, and if we have to prepare it, what's like the deadline and all the stuff.
Quick question, did you say GSOC as in Summer of Code?
Season of Docs.
Oh, because GSOC is a different program, and the application everything is related.
No, I said GSOD. It
Okay.
sounds similar like GSOC.
You do, especially when you have dogs running in the background. Oh, right. So you said if there's any statement, so all of that process, don't worry about it. I am the one that is doing all the fun work of the paperwork, and there's like several steps to the whole program. And basically, Google Season of Docs team messages the person running the application, and they make sure to update us on next steps and timelines. So in the application, originally that I submitted to Google, they already asked me any questions they had, and all of those things are already taken care of. Sorry, did that answer your question, or did I just confuse you more?
No, I got the answer. I
Okay,
just had this question.
yeah, for sure. And it's also really well documented. Google has like a very, very long document guide. So the good news is that it's not confusing. We won't miss any steps because it's very clearly.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, Nelson has his raised hand. Go.
Hi, Alejandro and Lucas. Can you guys hear me?
Hey, what's up?
Good. Okay, so my question is, I want to know what the contribution process is going to be like. So, with regards to like tasks and all of that, am I being too loud?
No, you're fine. This is perfect. I can actually hear you, which is always a good sign.
Okay. So, with regards to like task assignments and all of that, I want to know what that's going to be like. So, are we like going through the docs and then looking for spotting problems, or you're going to be assigning tasks to one of us, like people to work with?
Oh, good question. Sorry, was that it or did I interrupt you?
No, that was it.
Okay, great question. So as you remember, we have two projects. We have the major improvement to the information architecture and content. And then the second one that Lucas is going to really drive more is the generator tool documentation migration. So as far as how people will get work, how will they know what to work on? Don't worry, you won't have to guess. So what we're gonna do is I already have a long list of, in a separate not currently in the GitHub docs project. Like I haven't filed the issues yet, but I have in a separate notes app. I have a list of a lot of the individual items and tasks that people will need to do for this program. And so these tasks are all divided essentially into three main buckets. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to assign, for example, 4 people to the information architecture change. And so let's say I'm going to have 2 people on tutorials and then another person in concepts. And then, so essentially you'll be assigned a specific area to work in. If you would like to switch it up, of course, we will do that. No worries. We don't want people to get bored. But we're going to divide the work out into those different buckets based on the new changes to the documentation side. And then I'll have the issues out ready. And I will assign some, but of course, if somebody sees one that is not assigned and they ask, hey, can I pick it up? We'll just do that as well. Does that make sense or?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm a first-time contributor, so I just want to be sure there's like a proper guideline for me to follow.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if you need any help or guidance, understanding how to do the first contribution, don't be shy to just ask, and we'll give you the documentation link or help you if you need anything.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. And do you have another question or?
But that's it for now.
Oh, okay, cool. Your emoji hand is still raised, so I wasn't sure. Okay, I see Badmascola. Is that your name or? I'm curious.
Yes, thank you. Nice to meet you and nice to meet everyone. So my question goes as what is actually needed to be successful at this project? What are the skill sets? What are the tools that each contributor is needed to be successful at this project?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say really just 3 things. One is to be reliable. That's really the most important one, be reliable. And what I mean by that is if you have a question to get unblocked, if some other teammate or community member reaches out and asks you for help, whatever the case may be, just someone that's reliable to really know that a task assigned is something that you're going to do a good job for the community. Because remember that it's not for us, it's for the whole community that will use this initiative. So really it's just about that. I know it's not a technical skill, but I really care more about people being reliable than whether or not they're the most technical, knowledgeable person in the universe. The second thing will be a lot of patience and communication, because since it's open source and a lot of the decisions and communication is done offline, not in a meeting, right? It's done talking and tagging each other in comments in an issue or a pull request. And so when you ask someone a question, well, depending on their time zone, you might have to wait a whole day to hear back, right? Because maybe you're talking to them when they're sleeping, right? Depends on the time zone. And so being able to know that it's okay to wait until the next person in the time zone gets back to you, and then you pick up the task and keep going. Don't stress about it. If it takes a little bit longer, it's not a race. So really it's just that. And then the third thing, as far as tools, just for setting up your development environment, for the website repo, it's Node.js, and we're using Netlify for the preview links generated of the website. And so really you just need to know basics of Git, because you're going to create Git branches and use Git to create your pull requests on GitHub. If you know how to do that, that's really one of the most technical things you have to know. You don't have to know how to code, because for example, if you're writing a tutorial and you need to add code blocks, if you yourself don't know what code blocks to add, then we'll just also learn how a technical writer handles that. And that usually means teaming with another engineer on the tutorial to get those code blocks. So whatever your technical level is, it's fine. We'll teach you how to keep growing as a technical writer. But those are really all the tools you'll need, and you can use whatever code editor you want. If you don't want to use a code editor and you want to use a cloud environment like Gitpod, in our website repo README, it actually has information how to spin up a Gitpod environment if you prefer that. Then maybe you don't have to deal with actually setting up a local environment. But yeah, that'll really be all. Does that help or?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Cool. And
Alejandra,
sorry.
I'll add something. Regarding the being successful, I think it's also important for you to also make sure that you want to work with us. And what I mean is that there's this concept in open source of good first issues. So I definitely encourage you to at least try one, because these good first issues, they're pretty trivial. They don't take much time from you. But what it gives you, the usage of good first issues, that you can actually touch the process of contributing. Like, you're not just using Git or whatever tools to contribute some change to a given project, but the cool stuff is that you also start interacting with the contributors, because what you will see, I mean, in case of docs, probably not many people will jump in, but in general, the thing is that we are mentors, like me and Alejandra, but we are not the only maintainers in the project. So even though, let's say, we agree on something, but then once you open up a pull request, there might be other maintainer in the project that will request some additional things that should be done in the pull request. So you're gonna see how people behave, if they're just being rude or not, if they're nice, if they're helpful. I think it's important for you to try it out. I think Alejandra created some good amount of good first issues. But if you're interested and you'd like to try, we have this docs channel where you can ask for some, and we definitely will find them. And because Alejandra also mentioned this DocPad and website, something additional that you should know. One of these two projects, the one that I'll mentor, it's about async API generator, which is a tool to that you can use to generate whatever you want, actually, an application or documentation where the source of the for the generator is async API document. And the work on this project will also require you to be not sure if saying be bold is a good name, but basically be brave to if you're not very technical, you're not a coder, you will still have to be brave that you actually have to try out the tool on your own. You don't have to understand the code. You will actually not have to code a lot. If there will be some coding needed and you're not a coder, nobody will ask you to code. You're gonna get some code from me or from other maintainers. But because you have to write some tutorial or some other document, when writing documents in technical writing, it's also important to make sure that whatever you're writing, it's actually accurate. So it might happen, of course, that you will have to use generator on your own. You will have to play with a command line tool on your local and try out the code that we send to you. I mean, I don't think it's super complicated, but just that you understand that sometimes there might be a more technical task, or maybe let's say you're gonna have to use a bit more tools than just doing something on the website. But of course, like Mentor is here to help you out, to explain, to do some call maybe if needed, or other maintainers. But yeah, anyway, I thought it's important for you to know that.
Great, thank you very much. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question. So am I audible first? Let me just check out. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. The thing is, I feel that there are some parts that docs has to be like generated by code, but sometimes it has to be written manually just to make it a bit user friendly. So how are we going to do it? Like generating the code from the code, like generating a command reference from the code is fine, but what are the tips, or like any tips that you would like to share for generating like writing manually the handwritten docs? Because at the end, docs is being going to be used by two kind of folks. One is getting started and one who is just seeing it as a reference, right? So
So the process that you want to think about is that you want to be able to always generate a pull request with any change you want to add to the docs on the website. So I always have to open a pull request because it's going to be extensively reviewed and edited and improved, because as you noted, a README is very informal, but of course it's not the same audience or need and depth as a documentation site. And as far as like how to think about writing it, so what I will going to do is that when I create some of those more issues or keep working like with people like you with the CLI, I'm going to showcase some of the outline and things that I think will make the most sense. And so I'm going to also show, for example, for tutorials, the outline that I think makes the most sense. And so, for example, in a tutorial, I'll say things like, introduction, installation, the steps in closing, and what's next. So for example, if I gave you that outline, that alone kind of is a great guide to start filling in the sections, right?
yeah, exactly. So that will be really helpful. Yeah.
Oh,
Thank
yes,
you.
absolutely. And the other thing that I really care about a lot is, in my experience, I've had to work with great people and horrible people, right? Just like anyone. And what I hate, honestly, I hate when someone reviews my pull request and leaves a lot of opinions and negative feedback about, you did this wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, wrong. But nobody adds a commit suggestion or an idea of how to make it better. So I am not going to be that horrible from hell reviewer that gets excited to point out everything you did wrong. Every time I review, from an editor perspective, some technical writing piece, yes, seriously, that is what happens to poor developers as well. And I hate it. Like, it sucks. Like, that shouldn't be how we help each other, right? Even more in open source, right? so so what I'm going to do is I always review something and I always make a lot of commit suggestions, and that way, if you don't know how else to do it, you can just go ahead and easily accept my commit suggestion, or you can use my commit suggestion as an idea of how you want to improve it, right? You don't have to just blindly say yes to everything Alejandra says, because obviously I'm not like your manager or your boss. So it'll just be like that. And if you're still feeling like a writer's block of how to start writing out, then just reach out to me and we'll brainstorm. Cool.
Yes, that works. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right, cool. Who else has questions? Oh, all right, Mawa.
Okay. This is just a follow-up question. I'm wondering whether you do weekly stand-ups so that each person brings what they've done on the table to see the progress they've made and their plans for the coming week. And how often do you do that? And plus the differences in time zone, how do you consolidate, assuming people are distributed in different time zones?
Well, I have some shocking and good news for you, my friend. We don't have any stand-ups. You're allowed to have a reaction. There you go. There you go. He's smiling. He's so happy right now. Exactly. I know, right? What? What? And another good piece of news is we don't have boring, annoying meetings that are not necessary. No stand-ups, no Jira. Yes, Abir, as you noted in the chat, we don't have. I'm not going to be spending time telling you that you created a Jira issue in the wrong template, and then you have to create the issue all over again. Yeah, so no stand-ups. Really, the only way, all you have to do as you keep progressing is super simple. Just keep working on your issue and your pull request. If you need a review or help, tag the person, your mentor, me, Lucas, in, and we'll help you get unblocked or whatever you need. And if you want to talk to more people and share and communicate with others what's going on, we just have the different Slack channels. So maybe you want to talk to people about docs. So you can join the 13_docs channel. Because, for example, right now, we're all talking together in the temp GSOD channel. But that's actually a channel that is only going to be out until everyone gets hired and we start in May. So then afterward, moving forward, we'll only have the docs channel. And so it'll be super cool and super easy. If you need to ask me anything, like, don't be shy. You can also DM me directly on Slack. But we don't need stand-ups or people, giving updates on their work. We'll know the updates every time we open our email and get the latest, like GitHub notification that you left a comment or another commit or whatever in your pull request.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. All right, who else? I've had a lot of minutes questions. Do any of the women have any questions? Like, don't feel shy.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Juliet, what's up?
Fine. Sorry I'm late, but I want to ask, do I need to know any coding language to be a good technical writer? And if yes, what particular language should I concentrate on learning?
Oh, that's a really great question. So as far as how you should think about yourself in a career-wise, I do think that if you become familiar or comfortable with one or two basics of some programming language, that it'll definitely help you in your career. You'll definitely get offers to get paid more. That's just kind of the way it works. But as far as like getting started with us in the internship program, you don't need to know any coding or any programming language. Now we are using Node.js for the website. So for example, when you start adding documentation, you're going to look at the code files and you're going to see that they're all markdown files. And you'll see that there's a lot of like JavaScript and JS files out there, but we're not going to be working on coding. So you don't need to know any coding. I think even Lucas said this earlier too, you just do the writing, and if you need to understand more about how the technical piece works, you can pair up with another engineer, another developer, and we'll get code blocks for you. So you don't need to know any coding programming language. But anyway, does that help or?
Yes, it helps. Thank you very much.
Cool. Can I help you with anything else, Juliet?
No, thank
Okay.
you very much. If I have any, I'll reach out to you. Thank you.
Okay, cool. And if you need anything, don't be shy. You can also DM me directly on Slack. All right. So of course I'm biased here. Any other cool women that want to ask questions? Just in case anyone is feeling shy. Oh, I think somebody. Oh, yep. Ogunkelu. What? No, Ogunkelu.
Yeah, sure.
Hi. I
Hi.
love your picture. Your hair looks so cool. Don't look at my hair.
Thank you very much.
How
Yeah.
can I help you?
So
What's up?
I saw on the Slack channel that we are looking to take 6 writers, but I noticed we are more than 6 looking at this position, right? So how do we get qualified and all that? Like, what do we have to do? Is
Oh,
everybody just going to qualify, or is there a way to gauge and all of that?
Sorry, can you repeat the last part? I didn't get the last sentence.
I said, is there a way to select the needed 6 technical writers? Like, is there a way to streamline it? Yeah.
Yes. So what we're doing is we're having an interview process. And so the interview process is 2 parts. The first part is the call that we're having today, which was really an opportunity for you to ask us questions, for you to interview us, me and Lucas, so that if, you want to work with us. I mean, I wouldn't blame you if after meeting Lucas, you don't want to join the program. It would make a lot of sense. But anyway, that's a joke, of course. So really it's just 2-part process. The call today, and then anyone that wants to interview, you need to DM me your email and your time zone. And then after I have a lot more people and everyone reach out with their information, I'm going to have one more interview call, one-on-one with everyone. And I'm having these one-on-one interview calls up until May 11th, I think. And after I've interviewed everyone, then I'll select, the 6 people. And of course, everyone will be notified that got selected. Sorry, you're on mute.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that helped. Yeah, thank you.
And I don't think I don't think I have your email yet. Do I? I don't think I see you in my chat.
I joined yesterday.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you see my name in the channel? Like, I'm Alejandra Quetzali.
Oh, okay. Let me check.
Okay. Because I'm not sure I know your handle, so that might be a little bit harder for me to find you. But
No.
if you see my handle, then all you have to do is DM me your email and time zone, and I make sure to, because I don't want to miss out and not add you and interview you. We don't want to forget you.
Okay. I will do that now.
And I'm actually looking at my Slack right now so that I make sure that I got your message.
Yep. Seen you.
Staring and like.
Yeah, I sent it just now. I just sent my email.
Oh, one more thing. Can you send me your time zone?
Oh, okay.
I want to make sure I don't send you an interview invite for 2 a.m. You're gonna hate me. So once you send me your time zone, that's just one more step after this call. I'm just gonna set up one last interview, and it's not a technical interview. That's not what I care about. So don't feel stressed about, oh, do I have to code or whiteboard or none of that. It'll just be a conversational interview, you and me, sometime in the next 2 weeks. Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So then, yep, everybody, sorry, not everybody, you. Wow. Do you have any more questions that I can help you with?
I would.
No, I'm cool.
I would actually add again. Sorry for jumping in, but I'd like to add something to to this important question about like that. There's just 6 spots, and there are more more people here. And I had a conversation with Alejandra about it, and I think it's important to tell you that Google Season of Docs, it's obviously a paid program that like Google gives us money so we can distribute among the selected candidates. But we, like, at least from my perspective, I know that many people come to open source because they want to learn, they want to practice as well, like because usually universities suck in giving you practice. So people just come to open source to contribute, to see how it is, and to build their own portfolio of contributions to showcase it to potential employers. So we had this conversation that like if we select only 6 people, but there are still more people interested to contribute, but of course outside Google Season of Docs, then we both are still interested to mentor you. So it's not just for Google Season of Docs. If you feel after this call, after the interviews with Alejandra, and like after not being picked, that like you would like to still stay here because like we offer that we will treat you like any other candidate, we're gonna help you out to contribute some meaningful project, then let us know. Now for Google Season of Docs, we just have 2 projects, but believe me, there's much more stuff that can be done at Async API, additional projects that we can come up with, help you out to deliver them. So later on, you can put in your portfolio or CV, whatever the name is now, you can just put like, okay, you contributed for a few months to Async API, and that's the piece of the documentation that you delivered after this period. And you have a perfect proof for a potential employer in the future that shows what did you contribute. And they can easily, because everything is public, they can also easily track how did you perform on the pull request. So yeah, that's something a follow-up, a comment.
I'm so glad you followed up with that and that you remembered to bring it up. Thank you. But yes, I'm really excited that Lucas mentioned that, because that's very true. Regardless of the 6 people that we're able to select for the program, GSOD aside, we still love working with contributors all year long. So if you happen to not be selected for this particular program, like, don't worry about that. That's just a particular Google program that we're running. But we can still work together as contributors, and we can still be mentors to anyone who needs it. So even if someone is not selected, that doesn't mean we don't want to work with you as a contributor, as a regular open source contributor, and we'll be there for anyone. So I think that's exciting, hopefully. So does that help, or would you have any more questions, Ogunkelu?
No, I'm cool. I'm good. Thank you. It's really helped.
Cool. All right, so Lucia has been waiting very patiently for a question.
Yeah, okay. So my question is this: from what I heard, it's just going to be 6 interns that will be picked. So, and from other conversations that you've been saying, I heard you said that the interview process is just going to be based on being conversational. So is that just what you are going to be looking forward to, or is there something else? Is there something specific that you're going to be looking for in those 6 interns that you'll be picking?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I think in a way it'll be hard to only pick 6 for this particular program, because as you noted, everyone noticed like there's clearly more than 6 people interested, so that's awesome. So we're just gonna so really and I think I mentioned this before, but let me repeat it. It doesn't matter how much years of experience you do or do not have. It doesn't matter if you've never even actually officially done any technical writing work and you just really want to learn and get started in open source and with documentation. I'm really just looking for people that I know will be reliable, that will want to continue learning, and that are excited about being a good and amazing contributor to like open source in general. Those are really the three main things. And so we'll just have a conversational interview. And that's why it's not necessary to have, coding evaluation, because that's not really the focus of this. If you want to learn and improve some coding, we can absolutely work that into the program. Don't worry about that. But if you don't want to, or you don't know how to yet, it's not a blocker. Does that help?
Yes, that helps. Thank you.
Oh, cool. And do you have any more questions I can help you with? I guess that means no. No? Okay.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have any more. Thank you.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so Nelson has another question.
Okay, so this is just a follow-up to Ogunkelu's question. So on the proposal that you guys made to Google, I think I saw it was supposed to be 10 characters at first. So I was a bit confused when on the Slack channel you mentioned it was 10 characters. So I don't know. Can you explain that?
Sorry, you're gonna have to speak much louder because I unfortunately can't hear you.
What about now?
I think it's much better.
Okay, so on the proposal you guys made to Google, I think it was clear that it was supposed to be just 2 technical writers you guys are going to hire. But then on the Slack channel, I noticed it was now 6. So can you please clear that up for me?
Oh, no. So actually, if you go to the budget section, you'll notice that I very carefully and on purpose never said the number of technical writers that we're hiring. However, when they ask about how we will note progress to see if our work is successful or not, I explained that I would like to increase our contribution members from docs, from 3 to 6. And I said that it would be great if we had more than 2 technical writers because it's a lot of work. But in the actual budget section, I never stated how many we would hire because I didn't want to be managed by Google. I wanted us to have the flexibility to decide what to do with our budget.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Anything else I can help you with?
No.
Okay, cool. These are all really great questions, keeping me awake for sure. Who else has any questions? Really? All good? I mean, we still have a few minutes even before an hour finishes, so. I do have to say, I really think that some people here are clearly really good at taking selfies, so maybe I can learn. Like Pratik has a really awesome background. Like, look at that. Like, that just makes me want to start my vacation again. And then Hashita is like out in the town at night. Looks like a really fun background to go hang out. Maybe, oh, Victory's showing us. He has are you in an office maybe? Looks like you're in an office. I don't know, Victory, you're competing with Pratik, who has a really cool sea in the background. That's going to be some hard.
No, I'm currently at school.
Oh, at school.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. What time is it over there?
It's currently 4:56 p.m.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm so glad you were able to join despite it being a school day.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you have any questions I can help you with?
No, they've cleared most of them out.
Okay, cool. Oh, I think Nelson wants to go in again. He accidentally left. What do you think, Lucas? Is there anything else you think it's important that we don't forget?
No, I think it's actually everything was covered. I would just add, like, folks, if you like, because sometimes it's just difficult to come up with a question during the meeting. So after the meeting, if like over the night you wake up with some additional questions, just drop them in the channel, and definitely we're gonna answer them. And the other thing, like, again, if somebody wants to do one of the good first issues for documentation to see how the flow looks like at Async API, then just ping us in the channel again. We're gonna send you a link to a kind of dashboard that lists all good first issues.
Yeah, I think I'd like to take one of those.
Okay, cool. Then you don't have to ask. We're just gonna send the link after the meeting.
Ali promised to mention most of them, but I didn't see a message on that.
No, we did not yet. I don't recall when was the last time that we shared the link. So we might add it to the bookmarks in the docs channel. Actually, it might make sense to have the link to good first issues for documentation there, I guess, Alejandra.
You know, actually, one small issue that I noted was that it also shows issues in other repos, like that are not exactly website repo documentation, and some of them are, in my opinion, harder than a good first issue. So I think some of the engineers got excited and added good first issues to some that are maybe not exactly good first issues. So I actually want to go, and I think we honestly probably want to double check and maybe try to add some more.
Okay, cool. There will be some trivial ones for sure in a few days, because CUDA, like a few days ago, we enabled a link checker for all our repos. So we know in some repos we have like pretty simple fixes to do, just fix a link to some document. So soon CUDA, one of the technical steering committee members, will create this good first issues that will be like super easy to take on.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, I think those would be great then.
Yeah.
I see Pratik has another question.
Yeah, actually, I had a follow-up question for Lucas. What if that it's about that good first issues? What if that good first issue is not related to documentation? Let's say if that issue is related to programming or some other framework, can we still pursue that issue and solve it?
So definitely be my guest, please. Yeah. I mean,
we can at least try, right?
Yeah. Go ahead, really. And docs are not any special here. Like code is not any special here at Async API. Both things are important. So if there's a good first issue for coding, you're gonna experience the same flow of contribution, and you're gonna what was the word? Experience the people, the maintainers that work full time on Async API, because like even if the tasks will be, you're gonna notice like during the Google season of docs that like even though there will be a documentation task and you will, for example, add some new documents to Async API website, it's not always going to be only technical writing doing the review. Sometimes there will be a specific engineer pinged in because this specific engineer is the most experienced in a given topic and should also do the review. So too long didn't read. Definitely pick any good first issue that you want, and it's going to be good.
Thank you so much.
Any last questions? I think people are good. Lucas, what do you think?
Yeah, looks good. 1 hour passed.
Nice.
Perfect timing.
An hour. Yeah. All right, cool. Well, hey guys and ladies, etc. Thank you everyone for joining. It was so nice to start seeing some of your faces. That's really exciting. And of course, I'll see your face very soon in the next interview call. So yes, probably like Monday or so, you'll hear from me with your, I can't speak, I'm sorry. I'm gonna send you invitation for an interview, and then you let me know if that's a bad time for you. Please let me know so that we can make sure to find a time that everyone is able to attend. And that's it. So yeah, I'll see you guys pretty soon.
Thanks a lot for joining, folks.